Well, good morning to everybody. I thought this morning I would just give you a live shot as I'm riding with my bicycle through the forest here. And I know I'm not wearing a helmet. I normally always wear my helmet, but it's 2 kilometers away and I have to go back anyway, put my tripod away before I cycle. So as I'm riding here, I was thinking, laughing, because if I fall off this bicycle now with my tripod, it'll be, don't worry about timeout, it'll be lights out. So if you see me later on talking a lot of nonsense, you know I've bumped my head, and then you know how to pray for me. So I'll see you soon, hopefully with no incidents. It's a wonderful day, as you can see, brilliant, and I'll see you soon. Well, good morning to everybody and welcome to Timeout. It's Windt. As you can see, I'm in one piece, hopefully. That's what I know about. And I arrived safely. And I was so close to bringing Timeout from the beach. And I was invited to go to a very special place called Nsakaba, which is in the old Transkei by the beach. It's a brilliant place by some friends. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it. And I know what you're thinking. You're an idiot. I was thinking likewise, but don't despair, because I'm coming to a beach close to you very, very soon. Let's hope that beach is in Mauritius. All right, now this morning, as I come to you, I just want to say thank you again. I read your comments. You don't have to feel that you have to comment just a little. You can comment as many times as you want to, as long as you want to. I do read it because I'm trying to also get to know the audience and see how they feel, what they want. So a couple of weeks ago, I had an interesting mail or a comment from one of our ex-students many years ago, from Ryan. And I want to say thank you, Ryan, for commenting. It was great to hear from you. And so if you have commented, thank you very much. If you have shared this message or other messages, thank you. It's great in this time that we're living in to be able to share some positive news with people. So don't stop sharing, because sharing is caring, as my mother always used to say to me. So I really appreciate all of you that listen, that comment, and also those that share. So this morning I thought, what would I speak about with you? What could we discuss this morning? Because it's a little bit overcast. When I woke up this morning, there was thunder. They said it's going to rain. It was tremendous thunderstorm at 4 o'clock. I could hear the lightning. And I thought, well, 5 o'clock, Jack, you have to wake up and go to Timeout. And I didn't think I'd make it, but I'm here. I didn't fall off my bicycle. And it's great to be out here this morning with you all. And I'm really looking forward to a great time. Now, I thought, what should we talk about this morning? Because I always try and be fresh and not contrive things too much, and speak from our heart. And I thought, I would like to speak about, if there could be a hashtag to this, it would be hashtag the truth matters. I don't know about you, but we're living in a world where there's so much misinformation.
As misinformation and so-called fake news continues to be rapidly distributed on the internet, our reality has become increasingly shaped by false information.
So much things going on, people's opinions, theories, counter theories, conspiracies, that you sometimes think to yourself, I don't know if you ever have this experience, maybe you can comment. I feel to myself, what's the truth? What's really the truth? Because it's difficult to distinguish between all the smoke screens that we hear and see and experience. But that's not the title of my chat this morning. I thought if I could give it a title, it would be, sometimes truth is not enough. Now, I know what you're thinking, but let me just explain it this way. I want to tell you a true story. Most of the stories I tell you are true stories. I like to say it because it sounds good. Now, this is the truth. I think you've listened to me many times, and hopefully I've got some credit with you that I do speak the truth. So when you hear what I'm saying, just remember it's the truth. Now, and I'm using it as an example for you. So here's my statement. The fastest car in the world, travels at 191 kilometers an hour. Very fast. And absolutely that is the truth. I'm not lying. I've never lied to you. How will I ever lie to you? The fastest car in the world travels at 191. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're going to Google that, and you say, I don't have to Google that. Jack is speaking. He's fallen off that bicycle, as he said, and he's bumped his head. Perhaps I am. But that's not why I'm saying it. The problem is, that is the truth. What I didn't tell you was that was the truth when, for cars in the 1920s. In the 1920s, which is a long time ago, the fastest car was 191 kilometers, which was significantly fast for its day. But you see, you didn't believe the truth the first time I told you, because I never gave the truth context. I never put my truth, which was the truth, that was a fact, that you can go Google it. The fastest car in the 1920s was 191. But because I just said that and I never gave that truth context, you found it difficult to believe me, even although you know me, you want to believe me, you may even like me, and you say, but Jack, that's difficult to receive. You see, you can't understand truth sometimes, and neither can I, if we don't put truth into context. It is sometimes context that makes truth, not what makes truth truth. Sometimes truth is truth, but we can't understand it because it's not in a context that we can make sense of it. It doesn't make sense. I don't know about you. Now, I've heard many people say things without context, and the whole thing changes. You know, people in my profession, many people quote the Bible, and sometimes they are quoting the truth, but it doesn't make sense because they haven't put it into context. In other words, they've misquoted it, or they've quoted it out of context, and so the people that hear it say they're lying. They may not be lying, but they just haven't given it the correct context for it to be understood. Now, even the greatest man in the world, Jesus, when he spoke to his disciples to educate them, he was always speaking truth. Jesus never spoke a lie, but he sometimes put the truth into used parables as a vehicle to make his truth to his disciples understandable. He used the context of parables to make it clear to them what he was saying. He could have said to them, listen, you must just understand this is the truth, and he spoke it. But because he loved them and he wanted them to understand, and he wanted them to make sense of truth, he used parables as a vehicle. So truth is sometimes not enough. That brings me to my second point. You know, I saw an interesting a statement, or read it somewhere. I've read it before. It's not mine, so I'm just quoting what I saw. It said, this little saying said, don't worry about people that talk behind your back, because there's a reason that they're behind you. Now, I thought I would say something this morning which is also truthful. Every one of us, including you, and you can comment any time what you feel, all of us are leaders and followers. That's the truth. Now, for you to understand that, I have to put it in a context. Now, let's start with followers. Everybody follows in their lives, whether you like it or not. I'll show you in a while. Let me start there. Everybody follows sometime. You know, if you're riding in the traffic and there's a lot of cars, you can't lead. You're following the car ahead of you. If you're driving at 120 because the speed limit is 120, you want to follow the law, which you should be doing. You are not leading, you are following. You are held back because you are following some instruction. And that brings me to what followers are. Great followers are people that can follow instructions. That's the best follower. Then the second one, a group of followers you find, are people that want to follow instructions, but they're not certain, so they stop to ask for advice. And that's not always a bad thing. They just take a little bit longer to get there. And then there's the third group, which are really not a great group. The third group are those people that are totally lost, but don't know they're lost. Now, unfortunately, and when we look at our country, and not just ours, but the world and the landscape of leadership in our country, many times that group of people that are lost and don't know that they're lost are put into positions of leadership and are expected to lead. And it's disastrous because they are lost, but they don't know they are lost. So they lead in circles. And we find that all the time, and it's very frustrating. So let me go back to leaders, because we all want to say, okay, sometimes we follow. When do we lead? Now, I want to use an analogy, if I may, because I was traveling in one coming here, not on my bicycle, but before that in my car. You know, if you're driving in a car, there's two main windows that is important. It's the front windscreen, or the front window that you look out to see what's going on. And then there's the rear window of a car that you look back to see what's gone past you. And I don't know about you, if you ever heard somebody chirping at the back. You know, when you're driving, there's always somebody behind you. Remember why they're behind you? There's a reason why they're behind you, as that saying says. Don't worry about what they say behind your back. There's a reason they're behind you. And they always feel that they know better where you should be going. They have information about your life that is essential for you to know, and they tell you, and they always feel they know better, and they're sitting behind you. We know what we call those people, don't we? Well, let's just use a nice name now. We call them backseat drivers. And I guess we've all been backseat drivers before, so I don't want to condemn anybody. Now, I'm not speaking about your spouse, so don't get me into trouble, because or your wife or your husband. They are not technically backseat drivers, because they normally sit next to you, so they are actually front seat drivers. But let's go back to those people. Now, when we are driving, there's a wonderful device they made in a car so that you don't crash by looking back. It's called a rear view mirror. When you look in your rear view mirror, you can see who's at the back, and you can see even further back through the rear window, and you can see what's going on. So when somebody chirps, what happens sometimes is we look in the rear view mirror to see what they are saying. And sometimes we look past them, and we can see through the rear view mirror images that are flashing past that we've just gone past. Sometimes it's a tree, sometimes it's a lost opportunity, and you look back and you think, wow, I missed that opportunity in the rear view mirror, and you can see through the back window of the car, and you can say, there goes my opportunity. Sometimes it's the exit that you should have been taking, and then that's happened to me before, and you see it through the back window, it's gone. And as much as looking back is not wrong, when you want to lead, when I want to lead, the best opportunity is looking through the front window. The front window I'd like to call a window of opportunity. When we are driving, it's the window that helps us to see things. It's the window that helps us to see what's coming our way, to strategize whether we should turn left or right, to visualize things, to get excited about the future, to get excited about our destination, where we're going, where we're wanting to go. So I know that leading is often about looking through that window of opportunity and seeing those things come. Yes, we've missed a few opportunities, but what about those that are still coming? So sometimes there are times when we are followers, and there are times when we lead. And that's why I say that sometimes the truth is not enough. My name is Windt. You've been watching Timeout. I pray that you have a great morning and a great weekend. I'm waiting for your comments, and I'm waiting for your shares, and I'm waiting to hear your thoughts, because to me your thoughts matter. God bless you.
You unravel me with a melody. You surround me with a song of deliverance.